The primary colors are simultaneously the most simple and also complex ideas in art. There's red, yellow, and blue, or RYB, which is used in art history, but it's based on outdated color science. Then as far as the scientific primary colors, there's red, green, and blue, or RGB, that comes from the additive color system found in direct light and used in computer screens. And finally, there's cyan, magenta, and yellow, or CMY, from the subtractive color system, used in materials like paint that reflect light. These last two primaries are opposites. The primaries of one are the secondaries of the other. And of these three, CMY, or cyan, magenta, and yellow, is widely accepted to mix the most colors. And surely this is the goal of any primary palette. But primary colors are defined as any group of colors you can use to mix all other colors. But no combination of three paint colors can actually mix every color. So it's best to use the primaries as a guide to help understand the relationships between colors on the color wheel and to mixing paint. Historically, painters thought red, yellow, and blue were the perfect trinity to mix all colors. These primaries are still taught to beginners and remain a good formula for harmonious color. But modern color science tells us there are two color systems with two sets of primaries, additive and subtractive. Red, green, and blue are the additive primaries found in direct light and the best system for mixing lights. But light reflecting off a material like paint, absorbing certain colors is a subtractive color system, and these primaries are cyan, magenta, and yellow. And unlike artists who went through a more traditional training, young artists grow up making art on digital platforms and often have a more scientific relationship with color. And it can seem perplexing as to why the red, yellow, and blue outdated primaries are still so widely considered the correct primaries for painting. But the reason is because when you mix paint, you mix actual imperfect physical pigments, not theoretical color theory. And as most painters don't limit themselves to a 3-color primary palette, red, yellow, and blue has a broader application, as it refers to generic hues like red and blue, not exact colors like cyan or magenta. Language-wise, there's a difference between a specific color like magenta and a conceptual color or hue family like red. A vast range of different pigments fit into a hue family. And even if you sought out the very specific colors of cyan, magenta, and yellow, you would still find that there are no paint pigments that exactly represent these colors, rather pigments that come the closest. This is why you don't find many colors that are labeled cyan, magenta, and yellow, and usually only in cheaper paints. So in this sense, using red, yellow, and blue as primaries is a bit more vague, and using cyan, magenta, and yellow as primaries is very specific. And this allows artists to refer to red, yellow, and blue, but really mean a more conceptual relationship across the color wheel, giving you room for versatility in choosing the pigments that you want to work with, and an understanding of how to mix them. Because the actual color of a pigment is only one of the things that will draw you to using that paint color. Depending on your style, you might choose more opaque or more transparent colors. Or your subject matter. If you're doing a portrait or a landscape, you might want more earthy colors. But if you're a bright abstract painter, you're going to want colors that give you the highest saturation. In inkjet printing, you simply lay colors on top of each other. But there are many more ways to mix and combine paint through optical or physical mixing that make it a more complex process. So limiting yourself to a primary palette of 3 colors isn't necessarily practical unless your goal is to practice color relationships in mixing in a more simplified form. In which case, cyan, yellow, magenta are the best choice as they'll yield the most mixes of any 3. But the vast majority of painters don't just use 3 colors, or adhere strictly to the color wheel while painting. You need a palette that gives you room to adapt as you work, to use the colors and the type of pigments you want to use, and to apply to the type of painting that you're making. So it really is useful for painters to have an understanding of all 3 primary systems, and how you might apply them. No one system is sufficient enough to fully cover the range of colors we see and mix. Both the joy and the challenge of mixing color comes from the complexity of the materials and not from the abstract science that dictates color itself. Don't let the color theory distract you from the wonderful world of the paints themselves. Understanding the science of light and physical matter from the additive primaries red, green, and blue, and the subtractive primaries cyan, yellow, and magenta, will give you the knowledge to transition your color mixing theory from digital art on computer screens to mixing colors in the physical world, either just by printing using an inkjet printer or by mixing colors for paint or other physical activity. But even a working knowledge of red, yellow, and blue can be really useful because it will connect you into a history of art and the traditional use of color from the past, as well as allow you to have a working knowledge of the broad relationships between colors and pigments that you use. There is no right or wrong when it comes to color mixing for artists, but the science of color and color mixing is really useful for the artist to understand. Munsell himself called all color wheels an approximation, but I would say it's more of a subject that's just too complex to fully understand. The only way you can really grasp all aspects of painting and color mixing is to learn about all the science you can, and then just keep practicing so that you just get a working sense of how colors work and how they work for you.